Hello and welcome to episode 67 of our Timberborn Update 6 Waterbeavers playthrough, cycle 83, day 2. In real life, it's been over 2 weeks since I played this, but for you guys, it's only been about a week since you've seen an episode, so it might take me a little bit of time to get mentally back into the swing of things. But I digress. We have an abyssal nuclear reactor that is 81% complete, and then on top of that, we're going to need to place the plant water overflow thing, and I've got to figure out exactly how I'm going to route all of this. But the idea here is that I want all of the water to go into first this little mountain thing as a kind of a reservoir thing, and then overflow into here. So there's a little bit of, I don't even know what to call it, that I'm going to have to do. It might be a little bit weird, but that's fine. We're used to that here. We also have a tremendous quantity of stuff that has been optimized, improved, overhauled, so on, so forth, and there's a lot of lingering, outdated industrial processes that need to be removed, or improved, or what have you. So, you know how this goes. I don't even need to tell you what those 4 words are, but you already know. Very first thing I'd like to do is, over here, we've got these primitive dams, and we are starting to have an issue with some bad water overflowing. And because of the way that we've modified things and decreased the width of the channel, so on and so forth, some of you suggested, or at least one of you did, that we replace some of these primitive dams with some floodgate dams, which we do have the ability to construct. I believe we have all the materials. We should at the very least, and it wouldn't be super hard to wait to get more logs, producing those constantly now. So the idea is you replace, in our case here, we'd have to take 3 of these primitive dams out and put 2 floodgate dams in place, and during bad tides they would be lowered all the way down. During temperate and drought they would remain at 0.65 to match this other one that we'd leave in place. And what that would do is just make it so it's almost impossible for the bad water to slosh over into these other areas. So, since we do have access right here, super easy, I think we should go ahead and do this because it's day 2 of a temperate cycle. So if we just go these 3 guys right out of there, but these right here as well. We've got a lot of this stuff that's kind of inaccessible now, so what we're going to do is play a little bit of stupid math here, getting that on that other side. There we go, that's taken care of. And they're going to get to work on this, but we need to automate this with the help of the Simple Floodgate Triggers mod. So when bad tide starts, it needs to be 0. When a drought starts, needs to be set to 0.65, which is right here. And then those are the only automations we can really do. I believe, in theory, if we are careful enough, we don't need to automate the cycle ending stuff. I just want to make sure when the bad tide starts, this absolutely goes to 0. And when a drought starts, this absolutely goes to 0.65. The temperate cycles do require a little bit of wiggle room because of what we have going on here. Hopefully that makes sense. You may disagree, and that is okay. Disagreeing is always allowed. But I want to come back to here real quick, because we're at 82%. We've got all of the materials in place, with the exception of the last gold bar, which is being produced, I believe, over in... Yes, this one here. Let's collapse our info here. So this is waiting on some more gold dust. And where do we get our gold dust? Well, we get our gold dust from the clay pits. So if we come over here and examine what we've got going on, I did pause a couple of the clay pits that are getting gold dust because I needed the dirt that was coming out of the mines to do other things. So we are still producing gold dust. It's just a little bit of a slower process. Just need to keep that in mind. In terms of dirt, we have 81 dirt. I don't actually remember what is consuming all of the dirt. If we turn on construction sites, it should give us the information we're looking for. We have 7 things consuming dirt. We have, of course, GMO growing labs that are making various things. We need those to stay on. We've got the florist here, which, honestly, we don't need to have this. We really don't. So, do we have anything structurally being held up by this? I don't think the answer is yes. This probably can just... the news board. Well, that can be removed easily and put back. So that goes away, that goes away. Goodbye, thank you very much. And then we have the 2 clay pits that are turning dirt into gold. That is fine. Let's go ahead and find another spot for this news board, which does give us a little bit of a social life boost. But now that we have this one main district, we probably don't really need to have this. I will still, however, I guess just pop this right here. It doesn't really super matter. That can go there. This bad water pump is paused because, well, there's no bad water, and this has been automated, so we don't need to worry about it. That's looking fine there. Let's see. There's so many good things you guys pointed out in the comments on the last couple of episodes that I do need to go in and fix, but I'm kind of trying real hard not to get lost in my own thoughts here. So we're going to approach it step by step. This tree nursery here was suggested that I put in some banana greenhouses on the backside here. They actually can't reach any of this from the tree nursery, and the tree nursery is required to plant bananas. So unfortunately, this area is not going to work. I did like that suggestion, and I believe I left a comment saying we'd do that. But as you can see, it is not part of the range that they can actually get to. And if I were to remove the wood felling planification lodge, I don't think it would actually increase access enough to get over here. So if we were going to put in greenhouses, they would have to go probably here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 3 would give us 2 greenhouses at minimum. And we did just put in a whole bunch of grapevines over in this spot. And you know what? You know what? We don't need to worry about any of that because I can stick one of these right here. And I think somebody else might have suggested this exact spot for a greenhouse. So let's just make sure I can actually build that there before I look like an idiot. Where is my greenhouse go? Is it 3 by 3? I hope it's 3. Oh, no, it's 5 by 5. What a disaster. Okay, well, that didn't work. Well, that does kind of complicate things. I can fit a 5 by 5 here. I cannot fit 2 of them, but I can fit 1. Or I could put it on this side, possibly. Okay, well, since I'm not going to be putting anything else here besides grapes, I think it's probably fine for me to just pop these extra ones in here. And for the benefit of what we're trying to be doing here, let's... yeah, let's just put this here. I think it's going to be the least stupid way to do this. 3, 4, 5 by 5. Good, that does actually fit. This giant berry tank probably needs to go somewhere else, if we're being perfectly honest with ourselves. But I'm going to choose not to worry about that right now. Let's check on this. Okay, tar. Historically, tar has been kind of an issue because it goes into so many different things, but it's day 3. I think we probably are going to have time to make enough, but let's check and see which one of these over here is actually doing it. I've got basic balm. I've got those things. Tar here, waiting on pine resin. No real surprise there. That's fine. But that did remind me, because of the basic balm, I wanted to take a look at the... Oh, this is going to be so hard to find this now. One of these has a recipe for basic balm in it. I think it's the laboratory. Aha! Currently is making strong alcohol, despite the icon being rice. There is an option in the factory operating team to make basic balm. So if we take a look at that recipe here, the basic balm recipe uses coconuts. And I'd made a remark in one of the previous episodes about how ridiculous it was that we had so many coconuts and nothing to do with them because all the beavers had already eaten their fill of coconuts. Well, we have 1,100 coconuts, and if we wanted to make basic balm at incredibly high speeds, this seems like a very good use for that. You can make 12 basic balm in 17 100ths of an hour, whatever fraction that works out to. And as long as we have enough nitroglycerin, which it doesn't seem like we do at this point in time. But it's an option, is the point I'm trying to make for the future of this. We do have the ability to make it here a lot quicker if we chose to do that and simplify some of our other stuff. But right now we have 609 basic balm, so it's not an issue of we need more of it. This would be an issue of how can we streamline production in other spaces and free up stuff like this alchemist, which is utilizing all of these things to make basic balm at a much, much slower rate of speed. So we'll see what happens with that. They're still not going to get to this, are they? Yeah. I think for the sake of what we're trying to do, I should prioritize this here. And let's get this on triple speed. Get these guys to come take this out, because I do think it would be a very smart idea for us to have bananas produced locally. That gets a nice happiness buff. And then someone else also mentioned it's an ingredient in the parfait that we can make in the assembly line, which we needed to build more of those for a while. So we'll see what happens. Plenty of things to take care of. You know how this goes. Okay, they're not going to get to that for a little bit. So let's talk about this district in the corner over here. A couple people have said that I could remove this district entirely, merge it back in with the main thing. And I will agree that that's probably what's going to happen, because these airships don't require a whole bunch of different things supplied like these balloons do. They just take the hydrogen, and that becomes much, much less of an issue trying to keep that supplied versus, say, the scouting balloon that has 3 different ingredients and takes 10 hours before it has to be reset, and this is a day and 6 hours. It gives them a little bit more time to get the stuff out. But until we don't need any of these scouting balloons or these other balloons anymore, I'm not going to integrate these districts, but I think before we're finished with this playthrough, that's probably going to happen. We just need to allow it to be what it's going to be. 84% on the Abyssal Nuclear Reactor. We're ready to come over here, get that greenhouse unlocked, and pop that right there. And what goes inside? That's right, it's banana trees. And those get harvested, I believe, as a function of the tree nursery itself. We will see what happens. If it's not the tree nursery, then it's going to be this gatherer flag. In fact, I should check that before I... no. It is not the gatherer flag. Is it the wood felling planification lodge? It's the lumberjack flag, which is the same as the wood felling planification lodge, which is right here, which reaches. So we have absolutely no problems. That's going to have to work. Sorry to those of you who wanted that over here. I just didn't think that was going to be a viable option for us. What's next on the list here? Oh yeah, we were going to check out the recipe for the parfait in the assembly line, which is right here. So the parfait, in 1/10 of an hour, we get 15 fruit parfaits. Requires berries, 4 bananas, 2 ananas. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but it's fine. Coconuts, and then a block of ice. Ice blocks are a big challenge for this, because to my knowledge, we're not currently producing. We can check, but I'm pretty sure we're not really producing ice blocks. We might be on a very limited scale. So let's see. Oh, I skipped I, because of course I did. Yeah, we are not producing ice blocks. And if we come over here to consumption, they should show up. Yeah, right here. To be, oh, they have 100 of these for Frostbomb. So how are we getting these? Were we trading for them in one of these balloons? I'm pretty sure. Polar beavers. Of course the polar beavers would give you ice blocks. What else would it be? So one of these buildings will allow us to produce ice blocks, and I think... yeah, it's the alchemist. So let's check out the recipe for that. Okay, endothermic essence, strong alcohol, and water. We had a big problem, and to some extent still kind of do, producing endothermic essence. Even though we have 1,100 of that, do not allow that to sway you here, because the consumption of this is going to be tremendous if we start consuming ice to make parfaits. It's 3 endothermic essence per hour, per alchemist that's doing it. So we can get 6 ice blocks per hour from a single alchemist, assuming everything is supplied. But this consumes 10 ice blocks per hour. So if we want this to be fully maxed out, we'd have to have 2 of the alchemists making ice blocks, which that's a lot. That is 6. Yeah, that's 6 endothermic essence per hour. And 6 strong alcohol per hour. We're always out of strong alcohol. Water is not really that big of a deal. But endothermic essence, we take a look here. It doesn't really give me that much of a rate here, but we're using so much of that stuff. Let's keep that in mind. We need 6. What is consuming endothermic essence? Wait, nothing? Nothing's consuming endothermic essence? Really? Okay, let's turn paused buildings back on, see if I have something. No, nothing is consuming endothermic essence. Why? What would have been consuming it anyway? Now I don't remember. Unless that was the only thing we were ever doing with it. I'm sure it's some sort of health thing. No, that was ice to make frost balm. What was I thinking of that was causing so many problems with this? Because it's not even basic balm. Endothermic. Okay, well, or you know what? If it's not a problem, then who cares? It really doesn't matter. Now I've already forgotten. What is making endothermic essence? Okay. The distillery is making or attempting to make it. This was one of those things. We needed it for a recipe in the ENS, I'm pretty sure is what it was. And we were not able to make enough of it because of the minty bamboo shoots. But anyway, I needed to find the rate of production for this. So every hour, we're only making 1.5 endothermic essence. And you remember what I just said that I have now forgotten and will have to go back and do all my math on again. We need, every hour, ideally 6 endothermic essence. And we do have a little bit stored up. We have 1,100-ish. So we have to have 4 distilleries pumping out endothermic essence constantly. Which means, if we're doing that, every 2 hours we need 40 minty bamboo shoots. So 20 minty bamboo an hour. I don't think we can sustain that, given that we only have 6, and now we have none. So I don't think it's going to be possible without us just completely redoing this entire map, which I am not doing in episode 67 of a series. It's not going to be possible. Very, very, very long story that absolutely nobody asked for. It's not going to be possible to have a completely bug-free production of parfaits in an assembly line. Just from the perspective of having ice. How long did I just take talking about this? I'm sure you guys hate that, but everything else shouldn't be an issue. Bananas may end up being a bottleneck for this anyway. But all of that to say, we're still going to do this. It's just not going to be a picture-perfect production thing here. So, where am I going to place my assembly line for the parfaits? It probably needs to be somewhere over in this area because this is where most of this is being built. Right here actually seems like a pretty smart spot for that. And the power goes in the top right corner of this, which means, depending on how I wanted to play this game, I could potentially just redo this. I know this was a kludge I did trying to get paper into this other district, which we really don't need. Pilot's licenses, we probably should be making more of these for the balloons, but eh. Clockwork robotic controllers, I've got 9. That is actually about to be completely full storage, so once that's done, we can swap this over to another recipe, which we haven't talked about. Like I said, there's so many things you guys suggested that I like, and I think we're going to try and do. But you know how this goes. So I'm just going to wait for this to be completely finished so I don't end up wasting any resources here by clicking inadvertently. This one's just making science, which, as a reminder, we do need to have, what is it, 80,000 science? 50,000 for Project Triumph, and then we also need the Statue of Dunking for 7,000 Metalworker. So we're not going to get to this today. You already know how this goes. But that's fine. So Bachelor's in Agronomy is what we're going to start doing again. And the reason for that is we need to be utilizing the wine cellar to produce some of these things. Just because it's such a faster, not necessarily automated process, but it is a faster process. 4 hours to get kimchi or any of these other recipes versus using these fermentation barrels that take 3 days to make kimchi. Like, come on. Kimchi was holding us back for such a long time. I honestly probably should have rushed one of these, but we never did. And we can also make the mediocre chestnut beer, and we can make regular wine and half-fermented sake and everything. We should have 4 of these wine cellars, and that's the comment that someone left. We should have 4 of these, 1 for each recipe, just to try and get rid of a bunch of this nonsense. Like, look how many of these fermentation barrels we just have scattered everywhere. And yeah, they work. They do a good enough job. It's just, it's one of those layers of complexity we can remove so that things are just that much less stupid. Okay, this is some place that does not need to be at 0.165. This can be at regular 0.65, and then this one is actually looking pretty good. Just waiting on tar and logs. We're on day 8, so I don't think we're going to have any danger at this exact point in time if this is not finished anytime soon. Okay, so they planted the banana trees without the greenhouse being finished. Okay. I need to make more glass, though. We're making scrap metal. We have 1,800 scrap metal. This is at 0 because it's full, so let's swap this over. We do need to have some quartz coming in. I've got 275, so that should be able to make almost enough to get this done. This is making quartz, so that also doesn't matter. Okay, we're making progress, even if it is frustratingly slow at times. But coming back over here to make our assembly line, I'm just going to blast this out. This pilot's license thing can move because this is taking up very valuable space for our assembly line that I'm going to be putting in here. And I think this should fit at 3 deep. I believe, at least, that that will work. So we'll let them take care of that. Let's come over here and, come on, click on the right spot. Good job. Okay, it needs more. So the doorway is over there. I just need to, was it this side? Yes. So this bit right here needs to be swapped out for a 3-way, and then this pathway needs to come out at least for a little bit. So we'll have that go there. I know it's squiggly where it doesn't necessarily need to be. But this will go connected somewhere else. This was already here, but that's kind of not necessary anymore. I guess this is fine. So many things to keep track of. 88%. Then I do, before this actually is able to do anything, I do have to have the thing on top of it. So let's spend some time now trying to orient this. There's 3 sides from which water may flow, utilizing this thing. And I was trying to figure out last episode which way I wanted this to go. And based on how much water is coming out of this, it may require a slight change in design, but I think I can block off one of these large exits without it being a tremendously huge problem. We will see. We will see, but source never is dry, not affected by bad tides. I wish I had numbers on what this actually does. But what's probably going to make the most sense, based on what I just said, is to have this either go this way or this way and then block off this one side and then have this little tiny one go somewhere else. But remember, it has to have aqueducts attached to it, which those are under... no, they're... Where are they? I had them before. See, now I've got to remember where all this stuff is. Aha! Okay, they were under dams, houses, and dam houses. We have aqueduct bridge segments. We've got short segments. We got long segments. We got dead end segments like this thing here. Elbow segments and T segments. And they all have to be supported on giant pillars. And how do you make giant pillars? Well, you already know, but for the rest of you who don't know, they have to be made from these giant logs. And we're going to have quite a lot of height coming from here. Even if we don't have it at the exact same height as the exit here, we do have to have at least one pillar for every corner of the things. And that, we have to have more giant log storage. And we are consuming some of it to make planks. We probably should be using some of it to make actual logs. But regardless, I have to have somewhere to stick giant logs. That is right here, giant log storage. So probably the easiest thing for me to do is just stick them up on top of here. But I have to have in the middle here, which, why did I leave this? Oh, because there wasn't... Alright. See, it's really fun trying to remember why I did certain things the way I did them, when a lot of the time the answer is just because I had to, and that I didn't even think about it. Anyway, giant log storage. There, and then I won't worry about that one quite yet, but we do need to make sure we are stockpiling giant logs. And that is going to be the easiest way to get that done. So, tall platforms. You know how the deal goes. I'm just going to extend this ladder all the way to the side because that is how it has always been. Which, honestly, is not a great way to handle things, but it is an easier and more convenient way. So that is what we'll do. So that's another project they can sink their teeth into, I guess, literally at some point. Beef or boom. And now, if I get this thing out of the way here, we've got this that needs to connect right there, which before things get too crazy, it's going to be easier for us to do from below. So let's do, come on, there we go. Let's just get that prioritized. This needs to be removed. I suppose I probably should have taken this out at some other point in time. Anyway, this is the parfait station. So, we will want to have all the ingredients that go into the parfaits accessible from near here. So let's take a moment to review that recipe. Berries, bananas, pineapples, coconuts, and ice blocks. Ice blocks require a storage that I'm not going to build because it's annoying, and it takes 1,000 science for trying to save that. And it also takes 100 ice blocks to build. I don't think we're going to run into supply issues with this if I just have them schlep it over from wherever it's being made. Which then makes it make a whole lot more sense to have an alchemist over here, in addition to a distillery making even more endothermic essence. So, recognizing that this is not in any way, shape, form, or fashion going to be the ideal solution in terms of efficiency, we're just going to have to do it anyway and deal with it because that is the way life goes, and sometimes you just have to suck it up. That's as much for me as it is for you. But this can be removed. We don't need that there. I just need to push this over so I can have a distillery here. And bing, bang, boom. There you go. Make sure these are set to the correct recipes, which, of course, ice block and endothermic essence. And then, come on, lag. Make sure we have this. Oh, that's not connected pathway. We should probably do that. Let's check this again because my short-term memory is terrible. Water, endothermic essence, strong alcohol, and then this just needs... Honestly, the bamboo shoots... bamboo shoots and storage for water are probably going to be our biggest obstacles here, so let's just have something. Small warehouse for some bamboo shoots set to obtain. And then in terms of tanks, I have the small plank tank. No, that's the wrong button. Good job. Just need to make sure we got this here. And then I made a mistake in figuring out which things I had to put in here. You know, we need water. Oh, strong alcohol. That's what the other one was supposed to be. So, there we go. Obtain. Obtain. This is, it's not perfect, but it's going to work. It's going to help. And that is basically all we can really ask for at this point. In terms of dry storage, we got berries, bananas, pineapples, and coconuts. That is not going to be a difficult task. I just need to have somewhere around here for some small warehouses for that. And it's not the most beautiful solution, but it's the solution that's going to work for us at this time. So we got just a real simple setup here. Coconuts and berries, all of these set to obtain. Remember, we do have 100-ish. We got 93 hauler bots. We do have hauler beavers as well. And it looks like we're all ready to go once they finish putting all these ingredients in. We got planks, we got logs. I know we're lagging behind on log production. Scaffolding, we're totally fine. We're just waiting on these beavers to do what they got to do. So in theory, maybe not in practice, but in theory this should be not 100% perfect, but viable. and we should be able to rely on this, at least in a limited capacity, without having to think about it. How are we looking on this one? Honestly, pretty good. Just waiting on tar. I figured that was probably going to be the main issue. So life goes on. And hey, we have the greenhouse, so that's good. We should see bananas popping up for food momentarily. I can't click on individual bananas because why? Okay, there we go. So they are, in theory, able to come and get this. I think they may be occupied by some of these bramble flowers. But this is in range, and we should see them able to harvest some of these. Unless the bananas are being just eaten as soon as they can get picked. Let's check our well-being. No one has had any bananas. Okay, well, that's something. Let's check on our Bachelors of Agronomy progress here. 21%, very good. And that does give us 2. And, oh, I already have one. Okay. Okay, well, that is a game-changing revelation here. Because now, if I already have one, I can start building. So we need to decide where this is going to go. I think, based on what's getting consumed by the wine cellar recipes, it's going to make the most sense to have them closer to our mechanized farms. Obviously, the grape juice is not something that can be made over there. But the bramble flowers are being made nearby at the GMO labs. The cabbage is being made in the stack of mechanized farms. The rice, same deal, and water can be coming from anywhere. So let's research wine cellar. Take a look at the building itself. Is a 3x3 with a porch, so it's technically a 4x3, I suppose. But it would not be a bad idea or a bad placement to stick them up here on this ledge, I don't think. Oh wait, this can overhang? Very, very intriguing. Let's, obviously that's not going to work there, but it would work like this. So why now? Oh, that's too far from a district, so it doesn't want to build. If I built back all the way here, I could have something in front of it. Let's see, how many can I fit here? 1, 2, 3, and then that is its own mess. So maybe what I should do for the wine one is I could put the wine one somewhere else, closer to where I could have a screw press for the grape juice. So, recognizing that, I think this right here may not be the best place for it, period, point blank, but it will be the place that will work for what we are trying to do. And for whatever that's worth, I think we will be okay doing this way. So if I connect here, I have this little walkway area right here where I can put some of the ingredient storage, which is going to be, actually I need to make sure this one is built first. Not necessarily, but this is where the path comes up, so I guess that's fine. Let's make that a low priority. So the very first one that we're going to probably want to have is going to be making kimchi. That seems to be our biggest bottleneck for food stuff. So that requires the brambles and the cabbages. So we don't need to have huge storage. We just need to have some storage. And there is a possibility that I can put these mini crappy warehouses. I cannot put the regular ones underneath anything. So if I just want to be super basic with this, put one of those there, put one of those there, make sure these are set to obtain. And then this one, making kimchi, has to have somewhere for that kimchi to go. And kimchi goes in a tank, which I can stick right here in a pit tank. That will hold 60. Or depending on how fancy I want to get, I may be able to, and it may actually be better if I do this way. Yeah, I'll just leave these up on platforms so I can path underneath if I need to. And we can put in a medium tank for kimchi right here. And that can be our supply. So, the idea with this, like I said before, is this just massively increases the efficiency of kimchi production. And we won't need to have any of them. Like, 4 hours you get 65 kimchi versus 3 days to get 30 of it, or whatever the other recipe is. 3 days to get 36. So yeah, it's just so obvious that this is a better option here. Now I know this tank depends on this wine cellar to be complete to hold it up. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue because our Bachelor's of Agronomy is going to come up within the next day or so. So we're making really good progress with a lot of this stuff. And oh, this is actually completed. Okay. Well, that's exciting. I'm going to pause this building for right now because I do need to put in the water outflow. And what's going to happen with this is it's going to flood things if this is actually operating. So, taking a big gamble doing this way, but I guess it's fine. If I put this up here, it cannot generate... Wait, is this actually just automatically flooding everything right now? Outstanding. If I pause it, does it stop? No, it does not. Okay, lesson learned. Don't have that building active, ever, for any reason. Alright, so that flood's going to have to evaporate. We are going to have to... we're going to have to build the aqueducts before we put that thing in. And that is... not going to lie, that's going to really make me mad. It's because now I have to visualize this without having the ability to do anything. I know I was going to put a... Okay, we've got a drought coming in 3 days. If I was going to put a house blocking that, I think I was going to use the Tall and Narrow Lodge, which is... Oh, it's a first floor entrance. Ground floor, I guess, would be the more correct way to word it. Okay, this is now flooded again. Great. Well, it's fine. Life goes on. It's not going to take 10 days for that to evaporate. I'm going to have to figure this out. The dead end segment is going to be probably, assuming I can't build the house there, the dead end segment is going to be what I have to build on the end. So where is... I don't hardly have... Okay, so that is... Alright, so 3 blocks from this side is where the rings are. Which means this is not going to work great because I have the bot assembler on this. Let's turn this back on so I can fill these last 7 spots, and then I'll probably just turn it off and keep it off. Or I could get rid of it. Because right now, as it stands, I've got right here where I'm probably going to have to put the giant pillar to stick this thing and stack those a couple stacks high. The giant pillar, as far as I know, doesn't have a requirement to be connected to the ground. Oh, also, since we're here, I'm going to blow these 2 dynamite up. There we go. I know that's been bugging some of you for many episodes. I am very curious to see whether or not the game will allow me to do some absolute tomfoolery. So let's come over here. Can I do one of these overhang? Oh, it's not going to let me do it on top of that. I need to figure out, one of these was going to let me, no, not going to let me do that. I need to see if I can put a giant pillar on top of something that is not ground. Specifically, if I can put it on top of an overhang walkway or some sort of balcony or something. And it seems like I can attach skewer overhang platforms to the side of giant pillars. So can I... Come on, lag. There we go. Don't ever do this in real life. You will explode everything. That's not how physics works, but... Well, at least not with what I assume this is made out of. Okay. Well, knowing now that this is possible, even if it is incredibly stupid, I am extremely excited by this turn of events because now I can do some absolute insert your favorite 4-letter word here. Alright, now there is a possibility that this backfires. And I am slightly concerned that it's going to. But, you know, part of the fun of playing Timberborn is recognizing the limits of the game and then laughing at them when you figure out how to bypass everything. So, to that end, let's make an attempt here without unpausing. Dead end segment, just go ahead and research this because I know we're going to want to do it. Ah! Well, that certainly is going to be cause for concern. Let's see what's the... Okay, so that has to come this way. Well, you know what? This actually works out fine because I can just come over one more level. Like, there's no reason this game should allow me to do this. Like, there's no reason for this. Which is why it's funny. So dead end segment goes right here. And that would force it to go that way. Okay, so, you know what? That is really exciting. And I am so interested in seeing just how in the figure your own word out for that I'm supposed to build this. Because they can't build up everything. They can't build down. But I don't think they can actually crawl around on top of this to get this constructed. I am just so fascinated to see if this is even going to be possible. But now that we know that's in place, let's put up here, so that's going to be right out the center. That's just going to be a turn to go this way. But this side, just spilling out here, I think is going to be comparatively a lot easier to build. So if I were to come out to, say, here, and I've got that giant pillar there. Actually, I need to check and see what the demands of this to go to long is. Short segment. Is a short segment going to be long enough? For the sake of not flooding stuff, it probably is going to need to be long, which means this needs to be moved over to where it's not directly adjacent, which is going to cause some issues. But if that is where that connects, then that's actually... it's better for us materials-wise, because then that's not going to require I have a whole mess of everything. So long segment would go there. Yeah, let's get that going. Honestly, I don't hate this. I really don't. I think this is probably going to be a pretty viable thing. Wait, how much water is down here? Okay, that's not that much. It's only about 5 or 6 days worth of evaporation. Now I've got to get all the way around here. So let's check. I probably can unpause the game now. I'm just so curious to see how they're gonna handle this. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. I can't believe it allows me to do this. I need to do a elbowed segment, which is... Oh, does that require... Seriously? I have to have 4 of these? Oh, come on, man. Well, that has to go here, 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 and here, which I can definitely build. There isn't a rule that says this has to match height unless I don't want things to flood, but I think I'm going to just suck it up and do that anyway. So, we're going to run out of giant pillars really, really fast, just so we're all on the same page. This does have to... Actually, no, that's the wrong spot. Let's enable this. That has to go there and there. So let me just check before I fully commit. Elbow segment is... Oh! That needs to be over 1 more. Well... Fortunately, we have the technology. We have the technology to just shift this entire thing, but I'm not going to do it at the very bottom. I'm probably going to go... I can go 1 more up with it. This is going to take like 2 episodes worth of time-lapsing to even finish anyway, so... We don't need to really be worried about it yet. Come on. There we go. And then the 2 4x up there. Now, if this is not actually correct, I do need to know right now before I commit. Wait a minute. This is only a single width. I don't have... none of these are 1 wide. They're all 2 wide. I hope that doesn't mean anything. I guess that's going to have to be good enough. Let's just check the placement of this again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not going to flood anything. Hopefully. I really hope I didn't make a mistake doing this way. I guess we'll find out. And if it is a mistake, then I'm going to be absolutely miserable with this. But I think you guys will find it funny, so I guess it works out in the end. Elbow aqueduct segment here. And then this has to be extended. You know, this only looks slightly janky. Just a little bit. That's going to have to be extended to go into here as well. And then this, also, I have not done any of this. I have not done any of this. This is going to have to be 2 tall and narrow lodges there. And then I need to blast out part of this. But I did have a commitment to actually using this space for this purpose. So, I got 500 something metal blocks. That's going to be fine. So I suppose that has to go there, and then I just have to have some sort of a, oh, what a stupid way to get to somebody's house in this other district, but it's just not going to be the other district for much longer. Well, you know what they say, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. Or alternatively, it is stupid, but it works, and then everyone wins. So this has to be, oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to take some of these, or one of these trees out. It's going to require... I believe right here, that tree is going to have to go bye-bye. No, it's going to be that tree. That tree's got to go, because that's got 3... No, it's got 2 blocks between it. That's got to go here, but it's going to be cantilevered over, and then that can just go... Oh, yeah, that can just go straight up. That's fine. That's going to be the same height there. Yeah, I don't need to have this be a thing anymore. So, man, I really hope they're going to actually be able to build this, because that would be a big problem otherwise. So that's going to have straight coming over here, which is then going to have a T going, or not a T, an L going in that way. If that's even going to fit. Because the elbow is going to come off of that side. Oh yeah, that'll fit. That'll fit just fine. So now that I know these can actually create incredibly horrifying physics implications and get staggered, that is going to make things just extremely, extremely interesting. Okay, so I had the game paused for a long time. Did we make any progress? Now we're waiting on that, which means we do... Or did. Why did you build this one first? Okay, never mind. That's fine. That's fine. This was the one making kimchi. We're making the wine somewhere else, so this can be that. And then this one can be half-fermented sake, which means I need to have storages for... Yeah, I need rice. I'm going to need one for water. We already knew that. I need... So I guess just rice, chestnuts, and water storage. Okay. Nice and simple. No reason for us to be even slightly stressed out about this. Because now it's endgame Waterbeavers, where everything is not necessarily easier, but it is slightly less stupid. Or at least stupid in different ways that are more palatable. So that's going to be rice. We probably don't even need to have this right here, to be perfectly honest with you, but it's fine. Then output. Output-wise, we have kimchi. This output is going to be chestnut beer, and this output is going to be half-fermented sake, which, in the interest of actually being viable over here, I need to have set up with tanks right at the outset. So that's going to go there and there. Nope, I need to have that in the correct spot. There we go. And then the inputs can actually be over here. And, oh, I can use pit storages for this. Pit warehouse. Just make it slightly better. And chestnuts, and come on, there we go. Actually, before I built these storages, I should have checked the recipe size. Oh, yeah, that's going to be fine. Cabbages actually are going to need... Cabbages are going to need one of these pit storages as well, much more than they're going to need any of this mess. So, what I will do is I will actually do this for the cabbages, which are there, and turn this into bramble flowers. So what that's going to do is have to get figured out, but it's fine. This is now, look how much faster this is going. Look how much faster this is. Oh my god, what a breakthrough. What a tremendous breakthrough. I love this with my entire heart. Let's go. What is this waiting on? Oh god, are we out of drill bits already? No, someone's going to yell at me for just swapping these back and forth instead of committing, but it's fine. I've got this right here that probably should be making drill bits full time. And I thought for sure I had already done that, but that's storage there, that's methane. Okay, that's fine. So, drought started. 7 days. We're doing just fine. We don't need to worry about it. This doesn't even have stuff to make that anyway, so that will go back to... actually, you know what? We're looking really good on almost everything here. Which leads me to believe we probably don't have to have this operating, so I'm going to pause it. Maybe that will cause problems later, but I'm not worried about that right now. Giant sequoias are pretty well reserved for the next 800,000 years, so this can get constructed. I'm very interested to see how I'm going to be able to construct this, because I think... I mean, if they can stand on top of this to build it, then maybe they can stand on top of this to build other stuff, too. I just have to have a... Oh, it's not going to let me do that, because that's in the way, isn't it? Okay. Oh, they haven't even built this yet. Oh, they can't get to it. Okay, well, new idea. New idea. Let's give this a little bit of accessibility. And put a, what do you call it there? Because I think what's probably going to happen is this is going to need to have a bunch of ladders just so they can actually, you know... wait a second, I don't want to put that there. I have to be careful not to delete anything important when I'm fixing this. This... I thought I was going to crash the game for a second. This will be fine here because I can actually build across here with this suspension bridge. And because of how this is set up, I can actually go... okay, maybe that's not going to work. I thought it was going to be a much more viable option. Let's try this. Oh, it's not going to let me build it on the same thing. All right. That is unfortunate. And it's not going to let me do that either, which means I'm going to have to get in between these. I think... Yeah, that's going to be the easiest way to do it. This is so stupid. This is incredibly scuffed. But you know how it goes. We've already gone over this. If it's incredibly stupid and it works, then, well, it's incredibly stupid, but it works. And that, friends, is going to allow them to build a lot of this without me having to intervene for quite some time. As long as I have this connected here, which, to my knowledge, that should take care of. And then I'm just going to have to... I think I can also do this. Yeah, I can do that. I can't go through this side. But that's not going to be as much of an issue, because this probably would be... Nope, that doesn't go there. Probably would be viable just going like that. This needs to have another, what do you call it, going through here. I feel a tremendous time-lapse coming on, friends. But we will have to make sure everything is all situated before I turn that thing loose. And we got the long segment. Gonna connect there. Honestly, this is pretty exciting stuff. I am very, very interested to see exactly what is gonna have to happen here. Like, it's gonna take long enough for us to get the giant logs just by themselves that there's no chance this gets finished this episode. Unless I leave this running for another 3 hours, which I guess technically I have time for, but I don't know if you want to sit here and watch that. So let's take another look at my checklist here. We did the greenhouses. We did the floodgate dams. We took a look at the basic balm and the abyss recipe and said we didn't really need to do it yet. Wine cellars we've successfully accomplished. I do need one more, and that is one more bachelor's in agronomy, which is in the process of being made, and then I'll have to turn this back to something else. Oh, here's one I forgot. Over here we have this water pump we do not need. This is also not manned, so I guess it's not really that big of a deal. So in terms of housing, I think we'll keep this. But it is deprioritized, so I guess somebody works here if they have nothing else to do. That's fine. We talked about the 2nd district being removed, or I guess technically the 3rd district, but it's the only 2nd one now. We're not quite ready for that yet. We'll get there eventually. Look how much better this is now that we have all these beverages. Oh, it's beautiful. What a tremendous progress. I really needed to use different words. But, you know what? They've actually made really nice progress with this. I am quite pleased. Oh, the parfait situation. That is waiting on bananas, which, to absolutely no one's surprise... You know what? I'm really stupid, and I'm sure at least one of you has made a comment about this already, so thank you for being you. I didn't mark the bananas for cutting. Well, there's your problem. Oh, man. That's embarrassing. But the way the banana trees work is they have to be cut down. They can't just be harvested. They got to cut the tree down, and the tree has to regrow. So it is deeply shameful that I have forgotten to do that. But that should solve that problem. We're making ice blocks. The storage is full. Endothermic essence is predictably being an absolute insert your favorite 4-letter word here, or 5 or 6 or 7-letter word, depending on your preference. But this is full up. And the ice block storage here is also full up, and I don't want to build a cold storage for more ice blocks, so I guess that's fine. Shouldn't really matter anyway. These are going to churn through here faster than they can do anything. Fruit parfaits. Is that something that has to be stored in an underground cold storage? I don't know. Easiest way to find out is... Okay. But it's a parfait. It's a finished good, so it's possible it could go in a warehouse, but I wouldn't want to put it in a warehouse. Maybe it does have to go in cold storage. Anyway, there's 150 in here, so I think they can just waltz on in and grab one and, you know, off to the races. We need to make wine, which means I need to have that other thing, which is 94% done. I've got grapes over here. I've got power over here. So if I'm going to put in... What is this? Storage for minty bamboo shoots? Yeah, that is a pipe dream. I'm going to need to put in a screw press for grape juice, which I believe the entrance is on the bottom, which means I can put right here. Not that one. T intersection there. And then that is a doorway that I cannot obstruct. I can put... There we go. I can put this here unless I've done something extremely wrong, which I'm sure we'll find out. That's fine there. I just need to have a staircase or a ladder to get up here. These beavers actually like getting wet, so that's probably fine just to leave it like that. And that can be set to grapes. which means I will need to have a storage for grapes, and I think I can put one, just a very simple small warehouse right here. And where's my grapes? There's my grapes. Just put that right there, and then I have a place to stick grape juice, which will end up going right here. This is just heinously ugly. But what's our motto? I don't need to say it again because I've said it a billion times, and I'm sure you're sick of it. Actually, no, not that motto. I know a lot of you are sick of that because you've complained about it. Well, that's fine. So, a little grape juice production station is going to get us in the ability to have a winery over here. Wine cellar, not a winery. And where am I going to put that? Anyway, they finished this, which means I need to put this back on. I guess for right now, probably just science points. 38,000 science. What was the thing for this? 50. Okay, so we're not even close. And I guess that's fine. I don't think I need any more degrees for right now. We should be okay. I don't think I need to be making any more glass, which means this can go back over. That was already there. Did I just reset? No, I didn't. I probably did. That's fine. So that's looking okay. This needed to be synchronized, and it was not, because why? Okay, well, because I do not trust anything with this. I guess that's fine. Cool. Oh, you know what? It was probably at 1.65 because it got finished during the drought. Well, we'll just move on. These have died for predictable reasons. I guess that's fine. We don't really need that much cabbage anyway. This is all looking okay. This is all looking okay. It's not going to be dry for too much longer. These are... Oh, I didn't connect this to the path structure. Well, there's your problem. Okay, so that's an improvement. And wow, we've actually made considerable progress. Man, I'm really happy with this. I'm honestly shocked that it's allowing me to do this kind of stupidity, first of all. And I don't know. I can't believe it's letting me do this. It seems wrong. But it's fine. I need to blast this out before it becomes an issue. So, it's going to be triple, or is that quadruple? That is quadruple. But you know what? I only need it to be down 1 unless flow rate becomes an issue. So for right now, I'm just going to... I'm not going to take that one out. I'm going to take this out. Let's go 2 here, which I know they cannot reach currently, but they will be able to if I extend this. Let's see, we're on like 8 different levels of why in the heck would you ever do this way. So I'm going to refuse to feel bad about it. Let's see, that's going to go there. Just making this as simple as I can. Which, admittedly, is not very simple. Anyway, they'll be able to walk over here, put this in place, and we should be able to just... trying to find a good angle for this. Time-lapse the construction of insanity here. So, yeah. I'm going to leave this on time-lapse mode for... I don't even know how long. Hopefully they're going to be able to make some good infrastructure improvements here. Maybe we'll see some parfaits come across the screen. I don't know exactly how that's worked. I've not made those in this version of this playthrough ever, so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to let them do their thing, and I'll touch base with you again in just a moment and see what they're able to get done with whatever time I have left to sit here and stare at a computer, so you guys don't have to. Alright, so I figured I could probably get this other Aqueduct segment built during this time lapse, but it seems something's not connected and I didn't want to move the camera around and, you know, give people whiplash. So, what we've managed to get done is the dead end segment is complete, and we probably don't need this scaffolding anymore. But what I was trying to do is get this thing constructed, and I thought I was able to do it, but it looks like I just barely missed putting this right here in terms of a suspension bridge. So I'll stick that there. That should allow them to build the rest of this because we already have these ladders here. And then we just have to have these other things stuck in. So let's B for boom this. And that should allow outflow when that's all taken care of. And the big issue now is going to be getting this constructed, which I believe, depending on how I want to do this, could be possible with the help of a couple of these. Assuming I can find somewhere to stick them. Yeah, the 6x wasn't going to work because it required a 2 base thing. So let's see, what height is this going to be the correct one? That is a 4. And then I'll put a 3 right here. And I think if I do this exactly correct, I can go up to here. And then I'm going to need to go across. It's so much easier to do this without having to worry about not moving the camera around. Then I think I can just have this go straight the way up until it reaches that level there. And it should be able actually not to need that. So that can take care of that one. And then from here, I believe, yeah, they should be able to do that. And then I'm going to have to go up in this corner here. I'll just have this go all the way up so that they can build that last bit. And then over to the side here, I can accomplish this. You can only do this in the Waterbeavers mod, by the way, because of the way these bridges interface with everything. But I think I should be able to stick that on there. And then that can build that and that one. And then from the very top here, I should be able to do the same thing. Because, again, what other mod is going to allow you to attach 3 bridges to the same ladder? That, of course, will, you know, take time for them to get done. But if I am correct, that should allow me, with the pieces of giant log that I have, and will soon have, to get all of this taken care of. I know these require the giant half log, so I have to have 4. I gotta have 8, and I gotta have another 5. So I have to have 13 more, which means I need to be cutting these up. I did have this running. I might as well just, you know, pop these guys in here. I have to have enough of those where I can just leave that running for a little bit. We also, for whatever reason, have not had any bananas, and I am struggling to understand why. Because these are marked, bananas-wise, are marked for cutting. And we have wood felling planification lodges in range, and to my knowledge, that is what has to get the bananas. Lumberjack flag, at least. So if the wood felling planification lodge does not, in fact, also harvest bananas, no, it says it does. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here, unless this actually doesn't reach this specific part. But it looks like it. It looks like it does. It looks like it's in range. So I honestly don't know what to do here. Outside of just put a another lumberjack flag just right here and see if that, for some reason, is able to get this when this one was not able to. So, oh, you're having a swim on the job, huh? Okay, well, hopefully you finish that up pretty soon. We got stuff to do, man. Come on. Just going back and forth in this little tiny pool all day long. Oh, you got your hat on too. Take your hat off while you're in the bath. Now I'm really curious. How long is he going to sit in here? Apparently he's just content to do this the entire day, huh? Well, I can't sit here and watch him the whole day, so I guess we'll just leave that alone. But I thought for sure this was actually going to, you know, be collectible here. Because these guys have been sitting here for this entire time just, you know, doing a whole lot of nothing. Oh, and I have 105 bots now because I forgot to turn this off. Apparently we don't have enough robot parts anyway, so I'm going to pause that. I have 5 bots that aren't doing anything and need somewhere to go. I don't really have room to put another one of these unless I go all the way over here, which I guess I could do if I really felt like... Oh, this is all completely dry and dead, huh? Oh, pollution resistance factor is all gone. Well, why is that the case? What happened to my pollution resistance factor? All my pumpkins are dead? Is this where I discover I accidentally did something stupid again? I'm sure that's what happened. Got 5 of these things consuming it, and probably nothing... Oh, you know what I bet I did is I probably changed one of these over when I should not have. It's almost certainly what happened. Yeah, nothing's making pollution resistance factor. Oh, boy. That does not get made in an alchemist. Does it get made in a distillery? It does, but I thought for sure I hadn't switched anything that wasn't supposed to be switched. Okay, well, this making half fermented sake into strong alcohol probably does not need to be a thing. So I guess I'll just put that one back in. That's really stupid that that happened. That's actually very frustrating. Okay. So what's the holdup over here? I guess they're just slow. Okay, well, we know that's going. Huh. Well, at any rate, once this is complete, I hopefully, yeah, waiting on half logs. Hopefully I'm going to be able to do this. So I know I need another 4, I need another 8, I need another 10, and I have 3. So I guess what I got to do, folks, is just, I hate to just, you know, time-lapse again, but I don't know why they won't gather these bananas. I don't know why they won't do it. You're sitting here, you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. Get off your butt and harvest bananas. I say as I can't even find the beaver. Where are you at, man? Come on. You live in the sawmill. You work at the lumberjack flag. You're over here carrying half-fermented sake. That is not related to your job function, sir. Alright, so you're sitting there, and you're not harvesting the bananas. So, clearly something is wrong. Something is just not working out here that I think is supposed to be working out. Now, is that because the bananas were planted before the greenhouse was completed? Or is it some other reason? I don't know what the problem could possibly be. So, I think what's going to happen, because this clearly does not work. Wait, I can't even delete the greenhouse? There's a structure on top. What's on top of the greenhouse? Okay. Now, if I take that out, are they going to collect the bananas? Well, obviously not, because now it's nighttime. I don't understand how this is possible, unless the order of operations was completely beefed up. That's not the proper use of the term beef, I understand. But I can't say the other one, because some people watch these videos with their children. Let's see. Oh, I didn't put the right angle one in here. Okay, well that's a good thing to find out. That's a good thing to find out before. Well, what a conundrum this is, because they don't seem like they can actually do anything about this unless I just yank out all the bananas and then build the greenhouse and put the bananas in after the fact. I guess we'll try that. I don't know. So, honestly, that's all I can do at this point. Building not watertight, only allows banana trees. You see, none of that really matters. Alright, so I'm going to build the greenhouse. I'm going to have them actually finish it first. We're going to watch it get done, so there can be absolutely no possibility of an error. And then we're going to plant banana trees. And then hopefully, it's going to allow me to harvest them. I don't know. I really don't understand why it elected not to do this way. Now, I hope I have enough glass panes, because I know it's only going to give me 75% of those back. That'd be really bad if I had to change the recipe in the high temperature furnace just to do this. I think we're going to have to wait and see, because now the stuff in storage is all depleted, and it's not giving me the insufficient materials message, which could be something that just shows up here in a couple seconds after everybody's dropped all the materials off. So I need another 29. No, I have 9 in storage. I have 11 in storage. I'm not still making this, am I? Or is that just them? Okay, can't get all required materials. But I have 20 in storage. That doesn't make any sense. Ugh, what a pain. Let's leave that alone for now. I have to route this. They haven't finished this either, because they don't have materials. They don't have the giant half logs. I know I'm going to need more. That doesn't have the giant logs to begin with, but I know I need to put in the 90 degree. We're going to do that there. There we go. Bring these last 3 pieces in. I know we have it. I know we have it. Just bring it over here. Get it done so I can plant my banana trees and go home. By go home, I mean not do this anymore. Because I am home. Alright, where's my glass panes? Come on. Come on, come on, come on. We're all getting old here. 2 more. 2 more. Don't make me sit here looking like an idiot in front of the, I don't know, 1,500 people who still watch these videos. There we go. Okay, so the greenhouse is complete. Let's hit pause. Mostly because I still want daylight when I go do this other thing. Banana trees. We're now going to plant 25 banana trees inside the banana tree enclosure. And then we have to wait 8 days. But you can see they're planting those. We'll come back and check on that. So, the last piece of this puzzle here. Put this in single speed. I need to put an elbow aqueduct segment in, which requires 4 pillars. Which is very, I guess annoying is the correct word here. So I'm going to have it on this here, and then a couple other ones, but I know I can put it on top of a regular platform. We've established that's a thing, so I know I can do this. I just want you guys to know I'm using 110% of my brain power to accomplish this. And it is, it's a thing. It's a thing. Is this going to be 4? Yes. Yes, okay. So that one's fine. And this, I don't need to have any access over here. But as there's already 2 of these platforms, I probably... Well, I don't have the logs anyway, so who cares? I'm just going to take all this out because I highly doubt I'm going to have to get back over here. And if I do, then, well, who cares? That's fine. I will follow the rules of engagement, and I will use this correctly. I'll put a 4 by... I can actually do a 5 and save myself a little bit of grief. Yeah, I'll put that there. Nope, that has to be a 4. Has to be a 4. That's got to go there, which means this then has to... Oh, that's going to be a fun thing. I got to do multiple segments. This tree, that tree right there, must be removed. That's the wrong button. There we go. So when that is all finished, then I have to, first of all, remember where this goes. Then I put my elbow aqueduct right here, and then it becomes its own mess. I know I have to have more of these giant half logs. Okay, so this is getting cut down. That's fine, as expected. Oh, I never finished this either. Do I have dirt? I have 26 dirt. I'm assuming we're still waiting. No, I've got gold bars. What was waiting on the gold bar? There's one thing that was waiting on a gold bar. No, I don't remember what it is. Well, somebody will tell me, I'm sure. Okay, now I've got all... Oh, you know what? I'm not good at this. I really am not. All of this has to go. Well, it doesn't have to go. It just gets to go. That's gone. That's done for. Did I get my... Looks like I did. My pollution resistance factor. Yeah, so all of these fermentation barrels, maybe not all of them, but I'm going to remove them anyway. Why not? To help me get some of my idle jobs back. And I've got all my kimchi mess over here. This is actually still brewing. I guess I could leave these in place, but I certainly don't need to have all of these workplaces taken up with that. Okay, we got that removed. The only reason this one is on top of a platform is because there's a path under it. Otherwise, I would not have bothered with that. I would have done this, quote-unquote, the right way. That needs to be a 5 as well. And that needs to be a 4. And then I just have this one piece here. Alright, so I'm still waiting on this. Still waiting on this that they are waiting on the giant logs for. Why are they not cutting this tree down? The giant sequoia feller is able to work, right? That's smart for cutting. It's not marked for cutting. How is this? Did I accidentally do a stupid thing here? Well, it's kind of embarrassing if that's what happened here. Oh, we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. Just have to wait for the sun to come back up. So let's go triple speed. Hope this episode's not too long. It's approaching 2 hours real life recording time right now. If we see this get knocked down, then we'll know that now I've got that tub thumping song stuck in my head. There we go. Alright, well, not the first, second, third, fourth, or 10th, or 20th time I've made a stupid mistake in this series. It's fine. So we'll just have to keep on waiting for that. Get that completely taken care of. Get this completely taken care of. Wait a second. Wait just a second. I can do this. Well, once this is all taken care of, I could actually... No, I'll be smart. I'll be smart about this. I'll just do it in the correct order. What else can I possibly take care of? Oh yeah, I was going to check on these things as soon as they got all the way done. 0, good. Goodbye. Don't need to keep on messing with all this. Get my jobs back, and then maybe not have to have quite so many beavers actually working these things. 91%, 86%. I know I've got more. See, now I've got... Oh, I've actually got a bunch of unemployed beavers. How does that happen? Have I actually deleted that many jobs, or am I just dense? Okay, that's at 1%. Goodbye. 95%, 97, 98, 99. Done. That's it. Nope. Alright, so that probably has removed a lot of this. Because I don't have any big workplaces paused, do I? I don't think I do. These don't actually employ anybody. That is paused. Well, it's paused because I can't do anything with it. What about the Abyss? No, they're working on that. How do I got 62 homeless beavers. How did this happen? How did this happen? It's probably a district thing again. It's been nothing but a huge pain in the butt for me. I really want to get rid of these, but I don't know if I can. Because I still don't have bananas figured out. Well, I'm getting pineapples from this, so I know I don't need this. But I do need the larvae, which I cannot get from the... Oh, no, wow, what am I even saying? Frozen human meat comes from the airship. Do I even need any of this anymore? Outside of the scouting balloon? How many sky exploration? I got 206 in this district. I've got 413 overall. Okay. I don't need these to make any airships. I just need them to make the pilot's licenses. The pilot's license requires 300? Okay. Well, I wanted to have at least one more of those. So, I guess... Oh, is this going to be a good idea, or is this going to be a bad idea? Because I kind of want to just bite the bullet now and completely merge everything in anticipation of this just being an absolute disaster. Well, it'll be good content anyway. Let's remove the district crossing. Oh, this is structural. Oh, no. Oh, that's a disaster. Actually, wait, no, it's not. I can just ignore it. I just have to, Oh, I hope this doesn't backfire on me. Okay. You just gotta commit. Just gotta do it. Okay, so that connects there. That's fine. We know that goes in. Is there a possibility that doesn't work in this version of the game? I can't actually see. Possibility of getting across here. And that does go through to this other side. If I connect it, it does. Okay, that should hopefully make this viable. District crossing doesn't actually have anybody living there, so I can just hit pause. The second one, I can just hit pause, and they can ignore it. Got a stranded beaver who's stupid. Where are you? What? Ah. He was, Come on, Unstuckify. There you go. He must have been in between districts or something. Alright, what do I have here? I'm not still making those, am I? No. Science points. Waiting on grapes. Oh, I bet we are super low on grapes. Yep, that would be the issue. Grape juice, they seem to be drinking, which they're not supposed to be. Yeah, this doesn't even have a thing. Alright, I need to be making wine. I never built the fourth winery over here. Does this have to be on the ground? It does not. Okay. So what I will probably end up having to do... Oh, this is so scuffed. So scuffed. But now I'm just so curious to see this. Alright, I'm going to have to sacrifice a grape right here. Get this thing out of here. You remember when this episode was going to be over, and then it wasn't? Good times. Alright, let's just get this done once and for all. Okay, that's going to go there. I think I'm going to have this other ladder... Oh, it can't go there? Really? Okay, well, I don't trust that, so we'll just do one of these. Alright, come on. Come on. There we go. So that's connected there. That is going to be making wine. So grape juice actually doesn't need to have a storage there. I just need to make this a storage for wine because the beavers will just drink that regardless. Now this says it's not connected to anything because the district center was the connectificator, if that's even a word. Now that's all good to go. We hopefully don't have any huge problems with this. And as a result, I can probably safely pause all of these Balloon Trader landing pads. Pause these so I don't have to have the doesn't have any power notification. And then pause that so I don't have to worry about that. That was already paused, so what am I even doing? That needs to be also paused. Alright, so this has somehow made this homeless and jobless problem actually worse, which I really don't understand. But I suppose that's fine. Maybe. Okay, the winery is winerying. Once it has grape juice, that is. Which this needs 20 to make a batch of grape juice, and that only makes 20 grape juice, and has to have 50 grape juice to... Well, now I remember why I didn't do this. It's a huge pain in the butt. Alright, what about bananas? B-A-N-A-N-A-S. 43%. What about all this mess? Can't get required materials because we don't have the logs, and I certainly don't need to be cutting all of these in half. So for now, I'm going to have this set to none, so we can actually acquire the logs, and then at some point I'm going to have to turn it back on, but I think you already know where this is going. That's right, friends, we're going to time-lapse this once again, try to get the rest of this aqueduct nonsense constructed. So while they're taking the incredibly long time to grow all these trees that we need to cut down, I figure we might as well do a little bit more talking about exactly what is left to happen in this playthrough, and other things that have cropped up during this time-lapse, which I'm currently still in the middle of, and you've already basically seen everything. But we did get the overpopulation down just a tiny bit, and I expect that to be more or less fully resolved by the time I'm actually finished with the time-lapse. We've got most of everything else, as far as I can tell, taken care of in terms of having science generated for the endgame wonder and all of the other things we have left to unlock. As I'm looking at it right now, it's about 71,000, which should take care of just about everything. If not, then by the time this time-lapse is over, I'm absolutely certain we're going to have enough science. So that'll simplify some things a little bit. And I still don't see anything coming from bananas, which is... Well, there's words for it, I won't say. I don't know what's happening. But, so I guess parfaits probably aren't going to happen. Unless when I reload to do the next episode, they magically become harvestable, or whatever. The bananas, not the parfaits. You can't harvest parfaits. I don't know, maybe you can, but not on this planet. Outside of that, it seems like all we have left to do are just... finishing little pet projects like the diversion of that water channel that I started and did not quite get completely taken care of. That's all stuff that, you know, takes a long time to get done, and I don't particularly want to divert the rest of this episode to making that happen. So, it is what it is. I'm just going to let them do the rest of these supports and these aqueduct things, and then when we're done, we'll pop that thing on top of it, and hopefully I did it correctly and nothing bad happens. But we'll have to see in just a short moment for you, and I don't know, maybe another hour for me. We'll see. Alright, finally, as I sit here looking at an OBS recording that is 3 hours, 23 minutes, and 56 seconds long, we have finished this aqueduct, and it should, operative term being should, empty all of the water successfully into here. There are some leftover ladders and things that can be removed, so I think it probably is not a bad idea to go ahead and do some of that. Maybe not all of it all at once, because you know how things tend to go when that happens. Whether or not they pick up the rubble is a different discussion entirely. I just don't want to be staring at a whole bunch of nonsense all the time. Oh, hey, floating bridge. There you go. I think that counts as nonsense. Just carefully take these out so we don't delete any of the structure I just spent way too much time watching get built. And I believe that's going to be enough for that. I'll leave that ladder in place because they do have to get into that house. And that should be fine anyway. This bit in the corner here doesn't need to exist. I believe I can delete this without anything bad happening, and that looks like that is the case. This here also does not need to exist. Just have to be very careful that what I am deleting is actually what I'm supposed to be deleting. We'll worry about that other stuff later. I just really don't want to look at a whole bunch of ladders where they don't need to have ladders. So, we're about to be in a drought, which normally would be a problem for this, but we have this that does not run dry. It is not affected by bad tides. So in theory, I can place this, and everything will be hunky-dory. So, you stick that thing in there, and out comes the water, and it should not come out this side, which it's not doing. It should go in here, which it is doing. And then it should come out this side. Let's get that on triple speed. Hey, look at that well-being. I think we have a bonus. So that is, as far as I can tell, working perfectly well. That is a big bonus we just got. Public fountain, maybe? No. I don't see any reason why we should have that much. Do we still not have... Oh, they are eating the bananas. Okay, good. So maybe I'm just dumb then. I don't know why this suddenly got up to 48 for no reason, unless that's all from the bananas. Or the shell necklaces that I turned on during the time lapse. I don't know. I have no idea if you guys could have even seen anything, judging by how this has gone. But I think we should be okay. Oh, I know I need to turn on wooden toys and comic books again. I've got 500, 300 something shell necklaces. They had clogged up the airships for a while. The seashells had. So I guess that's fine. I really should have built more of these things, but at this point I really kind of don't care. It's enough shells. I'm going to put this on wooden toys, because we know we need to have that. And I think I'm pretty safe now to turn both of these on for comic books. Should have done that during the time lapse. You know how it goes. Get this thing on triple speed, because we have to hook up power now. This is generating power, or it would be if it was turned on. But I don't know where I want this power to come out. Probably the easiest thing would be to have it come down here and then meet up right there. Or alternatively, actually, you know what? This is going to be cleaner going straight up this way. And yeah, I'll just do that. So how this is going to have to happen is I'm going to build this ladder, thank you lag, here. Get that all the way to that spot, and then all we've got to do is pop that in like so. This should be a pretty quick process. Then that just gets a downward shaft right there. And then this will get a 90 degree, and then that will get there. And then I just have to turn this 90 degree into a T. And that should be all she wrote. I think I might have to put in that connection there. Looks fine. Okay, that's doing what I wanted it to do. It's still not deep enough to do anything here, but I guess that is okay. I've got 2 gold bars. I think for now... honestly, I can probably just leave this going. And I'm going to unpause this terrain block so we can start getting some of this dirt in here. I don't think we have any problems with any of these things because I have this now making drill bits, and that is completely full. Yeah, that should be good. I don't need this to still be on giant half logs, so what I will do is I'll just put this on none. So it's just housing. I guess that's probably fine. Yeah, but everything seems to be looking pretty good here. We've got 46,000 food. Coconut apocalypse has been mostly averted. I guess we could specifically check on parfaits. It says there's still none, and they're not getting any bananas. So I'm going to prioritize this by haulers. I've got this. I guess I should also have that prioritized, but maybe they're just eating the bananas too fast. I don't know. I would like to believe that's not the case, because I don't want to have to deal with building more bananas, because you know how that went. Okay, it's doing reasonably well. It's doing okay. The district merging has been mostly not a huge deal. I don't think there's really a ton left for me to complain about here. I know there's still statues I haven't built. We haven't done the nerdy addicts so they can do their role-playing games. I actually don't know if I have any farms that I could reasonably put that on. I'll tell you what. I'll do it on this, just because I know we have to have it at least once. Nerdy attic upgrade. Just stick that right there. So we have at least one of those. Maybe there's 1 or 2 more places I could get away with that. Right here. Yeah, because this isn't really doing much. There we go. I think 2 of those is probably okay. Oh, this right here definitely does not need an assistant farmer. I can promise you that much. Okay, so that should be enough. Should being the operative term, as it always is. Thank you, lag. Yeah, I just need them to take care of that, and then we'll be good to go. We got 98,000 science. Which, we've built these things. We've done just about everything here. Done just about everything worth doing in almost everything. I'm not messing with the barreled water. That sounds like an absolute nightmare. Harvester's drying tower and the logging loft. I don't really care about that. I'm not going to mess with the underground storage. We built aqueducts. We didn't build every aqueduct, but I'm pretty happy, honestly, with how this is going. I feel like this is about as good of a situation as we can get. Also, this constantly spitting out clean water means that now droughts aren't going to be as big of a problem, because this is going to fill up. I guess when the drought starts, I can set this height to, say, 0.65 instead of all the way up, because now there's water coming out of here. And this could spill through here and then get sucked up. What a great thing this is. Well-being 49. Honestly, like, this is a huge pain in the butt to build. But I think this is really neat. This is a really creative and fun way of manipulating the gameplay that we normally have to go through. Because, like, right, base game, you're never going to build something like this. But now we can. And it uses all this late game, other fun stuff, all these giant trees I probably should have planted more of, but I guess things are doing fine enough. We are not too far off from having this connected. That is where I'm going to end this episode. But the only thing we really have left to do is... wait a second. There was an entry for dance hall and social life. I don't see a this has probably been discussed in the comments or in the Waterbeavers mod thread on the Timberborn Discord. But I don't see a dance hall in here, but I see it on the needs. I realize this is now, like, I don't know, 40 mod versions old. The one that I'm playing, the 1.0 version, is mostly complete at this point, and this is update 6. But anyway, Metalworker statue needs to be built, Project Triumph needs to be built, and the Statue of Dunking needs to be built. So Oh, this is interesting. I'm not sure if this is just a typo language thing. This one promises it's spelled exiting. I'm assuming it's supposed to be exciting, but knowing this mod, it could be intentional. Exiting opportunities, as in, it's like those arcologies in SimCity 2000 where you load up everything and then it launches off, blasts off into space. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But now I have to imagine this is like one of those beaver arcologies. I mean, it looks like one. How cool would that be? That'd be awesome. But I have to build a 6-deep pit for that. And I guess probably over here is not a bad spot to plan for that, because we didn't do anything with basically 25% of the map we didn't even use. Okay, maybe not 20%, because we have some of this over here. So maybe this is our, our beaver arcology thing goes over here. I'm just going to call that. I don't have any idea what it actually does. Maybe that's part of the fun that I don't know until it goes off. But we've got this and this, and this and this and this, and this, and then this goes in here, and I rotated it incorrectly. There we go. And then that's going to get this thing all connected in. I'm going to turn this bad boy on, and folks, it's not going to be all she wrote, permanently, but more or less going to get us to the point where, there's not really much else to do. And we've got 100,000 science. How about that? In the Waterbeavers mod, do you have any idea how long that takes? Well, I know exactly how long it takes. This is episode 67. The episodes are an hour and a half. Whatever. Friends, we've done it. We have this thing all connected. Our network power supply is 34,000 HP. How about that? How about that? What an achievement, huh? I am ecstatic with how this has gone. Like, obviously this is an extremely difficult mod, and there's all these trials and tribulations and everything we've gone through, but this is really rewarding, and I'm so glad you guys continue to support this series. I'm going to have to come up with a good thumbnail angle for this at some point, but I'm having a blast with this, and I'm going to miss this playthrough when we're all said and done, either next episode or the one after that. For the funny number, apparently. That's a big deal to some of you. But we can't do all this without the Beard Boosters, especially not this series without the Beard Boosters, because honestly, if any other person who were doing YouTube, quote-unquote, full-time and actually had to support a family with this, or so, there's no chance they'd do 67 episodes of this. The viewership just isn't there. But you folks who are here and have been here for the past 67 episodes are a huge part of the reason why we're still doing this, and the Beard Boosters make it subsidized so that it's actually, quote-unquote, viable from a business perspective. And I hate calling this like a business. I'm having fun playing games, and you guys are good enough people to hang out and contribute to this being somewhat sustainable. But anyway, you've heard me say it a billion times, and if you're one of the people watching this video, you understand how this works. So I'm always thankful for you, whether you're on that list or not. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more Waterbeavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.